Hi everyone, my name is Guy and I've been living with severe hearing loss and tinnitus for over a decade now. Today I'm doing a detailed review of the Phonak Audéo Sphere Infinio hearing aids, and I'm doing this from my perspective, someone with severe hearing loss that really needs these hearing aids to function every day. This is going to be an honest, real-world review, and at the end of this review you will know the following things. First, what are the best features of these hearing aids? What is not so great about these hearing aids? Do they significantly improve speech clarity, and can they really help you with your hearing challenges? And lastly, who are those hearing aids for, and who should just look at different options? Before we dive into the specific feature of the Audéo Sphere Infinio, it's important that you know that Phonak released two different product lines that sound very close to each other. One of them is the Phonak Audéo Infinio, and the other one is the Phonak Audéo Sphere Infinio. Sphere Infinio is the one that we are reviewing here today, and is the one that is the breakthrough when it comes to speech clarity. The performance of all other features other than speech clarity is either the same or very similar between those two product lines. The big difference between the Audéo Sphere and the Audéo Infinio is the extra chip that the Sphere has in it that is responsible for speech clarity. This chip is using AI and deep neural network technology that was trained with 22 million sound samples. This chip is typically controlled by AutoSense, which is the automatic program of Phonak. However, I will show you how, and you definitely can force the hearing aids to use the spheric chip. This chip is capable of more than 7 billion operations per second. Now, the hearing aids have to house this extra chip. You literally have a full second chip in the hearing aids. So let me show you what that means. So you can see on one side the Phonak hearing aids that I've been using for years every day, until I got those new hearing aids, of course. And you can see that the sphere is much larger. Now, before you run away thinking, oh my god, this hearing aid is way too big, I can tell you that I've been wearing it now for more than a week, and the size difference really is not that noticeable. I think it's only going to make a big difference for people that have really small ears. Other than that, I can tell you that I barely feel the size difference. You can see that here is the hearing aid, and really there's barely a difference between these hearing aids and the normal size hearing aids. The sphere is only available in a Severin canal style that I just showed you, and the reason is probably the size. Think about trying to shove both of those chips into those styles that go into your ear. That is not going to be comfortable. So I'm pretty sure that is the reason that the only style available, at least for now, is the receiver in canal style. When we talk about the price of these hearing aids, it really depends on a few things. The first thing is the technology level. The Sphere comes in two technology levels, the 70 and the 90. My recommendation is that if you can afford the 90, go for the 90. If you're not able to afford the 90, then you can go for the 70, but you're buying the best AI technology that will help you understand speech better, and that's why I feel that if you can afford it, go for the 90 technology level. The second thing that will determine how much you pay for them is where you get them and the style of service you are choosing. For example, I got these hearing aids from a place that will give me remote support, which means that I can do adjustments without going to a physical audiologist office. I'm still going to get an audiologist service and audiologist advice, but they're going to do all the adjustments remotely straight into my hearing aids. Typically, that kind of a service model will allow companies to offer you the same hearing aids for a cheaper price. I was able to get these hearing aids for much less than $4,000. But if you choose to go to a physical audiologist office, which is totally fine by the way, you may be required to pay more than that. So this is what I mean when I say that the service model will determine the price that you pay. But there's nothing wrong with either approach. It's just your comfort level with the service model options. When it comes to Bluetooth connectivity, I'm sorry all other brands and all other manufacturers, but Phonak is king. There is just no competitor to Phonak's connectivity to other devices. Because Phonak is using Bluetooth Classic, you are able to connect to cell phones, to TVs, to computers, tablets, whatever you can think of that supports a modern Bluetooth protocol. In these devices, they upgraded the support to Bluetooth 5.3, and like always with Phonak, they support 2 active connections at the same time, which, as far as I know, no other manufacturer is supporting. You can be watching a TV show using your Bluetooth connection to your hearing aids, and let's say that you get an urgent call on your cell phone, you can look at the phone and decide if you want to answer it, and then switch automatically to the phone while you're answering the call. You can also be doing a meeting on a computer, and again using just a direct connection from your computer to your hearing aids, and then you can get notification or a phone call over your phone, and you can decide at that moment if you want to take that call. And when you switch to that call on the phone, the audio is going to switch from the computer to your phone. There's also this other example where you're on a meeting, like maybe a video meeting on your computer, and you do not want anything to interrupt you. You want to make sure that all the focus and all your attention is on that business meeting that you're having on the computer. In this case, what you would do is disconnect the Bluetooth on your phone so it will not interrupt the important meeting that you're having on your computer. This is how seamless Phonak Bluetooth connectivity is. When it comes to rechargeability, Phonak is stating 16 hours, assuming a few hours of streaming. However, I need to clarify something based on my own experience. First, if you do not use the sphere function, so maybe you're in your house or you're in quiet places and the sphere function doesn't kick in, then your energy consumption is pretty low and you can go full days with no problems. On days like that, when I was not using the sphere function, I was going full days from early in the morning to very late at night on one charge. And I do stream multiple hours per day. However, and as I will show you in a second, when the sphere function does kick in and that second AI chip is kicking in, it consumes energy very fast. You don't have to use that AI sphere function when you're not in noisy environments. If you're speaking to someone in a quiet office or in your house, you really don't need that function and you can just turn it off or just let the AutoSense program, the automatic program, control this for you. By doing so, you will limit the consumption of the battery, and I believe you can still finish full days on one charge, or you may need to sneak in like a 15 minutes charge quickly when you can do that. 15 minutes charge will give you 3 more hours of use, so that should not be a problem. The only exception is for those people that are in noisy environments all the time and they need to understand speech in those environments. So for example, if you happen to work in a restaurant or you happen to work in a coffee shop, you would probably want to have the AI chip on all the time, and that means that the energy consumption of your hearing aids is going to go much faster. The charger size is pretty small and pretty comfortable to carry anywhere you go to. The charger itself holds 3 chargers in it, which means you can charge your hearing aids 3 full times without any excess to power. I actually tested that over the past week and I can confirm 3 full charges. Now I'm getting to the part that probably all of you have been waiting for, the speech clarity. And instead of trying to explain this to you, let me show you a demo video from Phonak and let me comment on that right after.
Forced me to kind of use behind the beat. I had to like scrap it and re-record it, you know? I mean, I can sponge it maybe later by touching the track or something, but this was like the intro song. And I was like so behind the beat because when I would press it down, all of a sudden the pitch shift stuff was behind by like 10 milliseconds. I mean, it's enough to make the feel off, you know? It's, so yeah, as soon as... Yeah.
So now you might be thinking, okay, that demo is complete exaggeration and this is not what I'm going to experience when I use these hearing aids. So I'm here to tell you that I did the same test as you can see, and this is almost literally the experience that you get. Every time that we go into a restaurant with friends or family, when we go to a coffee shop, or when we go to social events where I have to interact with multiple people around me, it's always been that same experience for me that I can't hear well, I have to ask people to repeat themselves, I have to really focus on their lips so I can try to understand them without asking them to repeat themselves. It's just not a fun situation for me to be in. But as you've seen in this video, I went myself into a very busy and very noisy coffee shop, and when I activated this feature, I was able to hear myself and the people I was communicating with no problem. It really is that amazing. My mind was blown away, and I'm not exaggerating. Now, you don't have to use that feature only when you're in a social event or a coffee shop or a restaurant. You can use it at any case where you need to understand speech and there's noise around you. So you can be in your own house and you have guests and they're all talking at the same time and there's like 5 conversations going at the same time and you're trying to focus on one person and understand them. You can absolutely turn that feature on if it didn't already turn itself on automatically, to understand the conversation better and to generally just have much better experience while communicating with your friends or family. I have done that as well in my own house, and the difference is just mind-boggling, and I'm not joking. I'm literally comparing this experience to the first time I wore hearing aids after suffering from not hearing well and not communicating well for a couple of years. When I first put hearing aids on and I started to hear everything better and started to be able to communicate with people better, it was a moment where I had almost tears in my eyes. When I used this feature and I was able to hear people in a noisy environment, in a really challenging environment, I was experiencing the same emotion, the same disbelief that yes, I can actually have a conversation in a restaurant. I don't have to ask people to repeat themselves multiple times. Yes, I can again feel comfortable in those noisy social events without making myself or other people uncomfortable. So guys, yes, it is that amazing. It is functioning that well. So one general comment I want to make about the Sphere Infinio comparing to the previous generation of Phonak hearing aids is that everything is just better. So when you talk about Bluetooth connectivity, it's just better and it works for further distance than before. The automatic program, the AutoSense program, now it's version 6 as compared to version 5 before. It just better control and better manages how the hearing aids are functioning automatically. Active Vent works the same way as before, but it feels that even that is a little bit better than the previous versions. If you're not familiar with the active vent, it really is a mechanical vent inside your hearing aids that opens and closes the vent to control how you hear sounds. So if you're in a quiet environment, that vent can automatically open, which allows for more natural sounds. But if you're in a noisy environment, that vent is going to close and give you more speech clarity. Another use case is when you stream. So if you're in a meeting and you're streaming meeting straight into your hearing aids, or if you're just listening to music, the vent is going to close, which is going to give you more full sounds of the sound and the speech that you're hearing via the Bluetooth streaming. The Sphere Infinio is available in multiple colors. You can literally choose what you like or what matches your hair or however you choose colors for your hearing aids. Just like previous generations of Phonak hearing aids, these hearing aids as well are rated as IP68, which means that if you go into the shower by mistake with the hearing aids on, no problem, nothing happened, just take them out and you're fine. If you happen to be outside in the rain or in a dust storm somewhere, you're still fine. Those hearing aids are really protected against all these situations. But I will make the same comment as in previous reviews. I would not go swimming with hearing aids just because they can still fall and get lost, and you just lost big investment and your ability to hear. To me, it's just about being exposed to weather that you didn't plan on, or accidentally going to the shower, or if the hearing aids fall into a glass of water or whatever liquid it is, you can just pull them out and you should be fine. These hearing aids do support tap control, just like previous generations of Phonak hearing aids and other hearing aids manufacturers. You can change programs, you can change volume and other things through tap control. You can also do everything through the application. These hearing aids do not support telecoil, and that's partly because of the size of the extra chip. Fitting in a telecoil as well will just be too much. Plus, these hearing aids are ready for the next Bluetooth technology, which is Bluetooth Auracast or Bluetooth LE, which is a completely new standard for public venues like airports and theaters and other places where you may want to hear the audio stream straight into your ears. I believe that the way that they're going to deal with this is when Auracast become more available in public venues, Phonak will probably offer a firmware upgrade that they will push into your hearing aids via the application, and that new firmware is probably going to introduce Auracast into your hearing aids. The last thing to know is that these hearing aids do not support the cross single-sided deafness. For that you will have to go with the Infinio product line, which does not have the sphere speech clarity function in it. So after all of what I showed with you today, what is my conclusion? Are these hearing aids perfect? No, they are not perfect. But do they give you speech clarity in noisy environment that is just unparalleled to anything before? Yes, they do. So my conclusion is that if speech clarity in noisy or challenging environments is very important to you, which I think is the case for many of us, then these hearing aids are a game changer. They will blow your mind. They will give you the sensation of putting hearing aids for the first time. It's literally that mind-blowing. If going forward I'm able to think about noisy restaurants, noisy social events, and not feel a cringe inside, that's a big win, guys. I mean, I literally for years now, every time we go into a noisy environment, going to have a meal or a breakfast with family or friends, it's always a challenge for me. Despite the hearing aids that I use, it's always a challenge. Now, with these hearing aids, the challenge is gone. It's really that simple. Okay, so let's talk about who these hearing aids are for. Well, let's start with the obvious. If you have severe or profound hearing loss and speech clarity is already a challenge for you, that's an obvious case to get these hearing aids and enjoy speech clarity that you just haven't experienced for a long time. If you have mild hearing loss, if it was me, I would try first some of those really good over-the-counter hearing aids that do offer noise cancellation and other features that can help you in noisy environments. If for some reason the over-the-counter hearing aids did not help you and you really have mild hearing loss, I would work with an audiologist to see if you actually have some other hearing challenges that you are not aware of that are causing you not to understand speech clearly in noisy environments. Now let's get to the last group, which is probably the most complicated one, which is people with moderate hearing loss. If you already experience speech clarity challenges while you're in noisy environments, just my opinion, go and do a hearing test at an audiologist's office to confirm your level of hearing loss. If it's confirmed as moderate hearing loss, then the audiologist will also test for other hearing challenges that you may not be aware of. And then you can decide if you should go with premium hearing aids like the Phonak or like the Jabra Enhanced Pro 20 that I also reviewed some time ago. If your hearing loss is confirmed as moderate without any other hearing challenges, you can probably use over-the-counter hearing aids. Just make sure that you try one of those better over-the-counter hearing aids that do offer enhanced noise cancellation and other features that will help you in noisy environments. On this channel, I actually reviewed a few of these hearing aids, and you can check a playlist over here that will actually show you all those over-the-counter hearing aids as well. So check those out and try one of those hearing aids. The Phonak app didn't change much from the previous versions, so I'm not gonna spend too much time unless you guys tell me in the comments below that you want me to do a full demo of the application. I can definitely do that. But for now, I'm just going to do a really quick demo and show you the spheric function, which is probably the most interesting function right now. So just in a high level, the application allows you to switch between all the different programs that you have. You have 4 built-in programs, and you can define at least 4 more programs of your own. And you can see exactly how much charge I have in my hearing aids. You can separate the volume and control the volume differently to each one of your ears, or you can combine them and set them at the same level. The other thing about the Phonak app is that you can also, if I switch to my restaurant program, just for example, I can then adjust different things about the program. I can say what focus it should have, if it's a comfort or clarity or speech, and you can see surrounding. We'll get to that in a second. You can change volume, and you can change the noise reduction. You can change the speech focus from being narrow, like in front of you, or being wide, like being all around you, basically. And you can also change dynamic control, which allows you to increase soft sounds or decrease loud sounds. Let's talk about how you can activate Sphere manually if you wanted to. What I would do is go to the automatic program and adjust that program and choose surrounding and then save as a new program. And you can see I called it spheric speech test. Pay attention to what happened to the amount of time I still have available on this charge. It just dropped significantly because now the second AI chip is active, and we are in that mode where that speech clarity is just completely unparalleled to anything before. If I switch out of it and go into one of the other programs, like the restaurant program, you can see I have 16 hours left on each one of the hearing aids. I switch back to the spheric program, And pay attention what's going to happen now. The amount of time I have left just dropped to 4 hours for each one of the hearing aids. Now, I've been using these hearing aids for many hours today, and that's why we dropped to 4 hours. But still, the point I'm trying to make is that you are losing many hours by staying on that program. So really what you want to do is be on that automatic program, the auto-sense function that will sense when you're in those situations where you need the spheric function, and it will activate it for you automatically instead of going to it manually. But if for whatever reason the automatic program didn't pick up on what you're doing or what environment you are, and you want the spheric function, you can use the manual program to switch to it. Just don't forget to switch out of it when you don't need it anymore. This review took a lot of time, guys. A lot of research, a lot of testing myself that I was happy to do because these hearing aids are amazing. If you liked it, please share it with other people that can benefit from it, and please like it and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. If you have any questions, please use the comments below. Any feedback, any question that you have, feel free to post anything. I really do try to answer everything I can. If your budget is not going to allow you to purchase these hearing aids, but you still need premium level hearing aids, please check the video that you see somewhere here. That is a review I did to the Jabra Enhanced Pro 20, which are premium hearing aids with audiology service that cost significantly less than the Phonak Audéo Sphere Infinio.